February 7th, if you will. Happy
Yes.
today. Happy everything. This is my
Welcome,
first podcast.
everybody.
Yeah, hello. Sissy, you invited me to a platform, something like I've never done before. I thank you for having me. So I'll let you
Absolutely.
talk and tap in and do what you do. I don't know how this goes. You might have to
Well, you're
point like it's your
doing,
turn.
I think that you're doing well. Welcome. I just want you to, everybody familiar with me on Reality Speaks TV. I'm Sparkle. I would like, if you could put it on mute, I would like you to tell us about yourself. You just mentioned it was your first time. What inspired you to want to utilize your voice?
Well, I see that there's a lot of pods casting, and I got the invitation to speak on the platform. So I'm like, okay, T, do it, and I respect you, love you long time, know you since 30 something years ago. We were little people. And here we
Yes.
are today, still as adults, so many decades, years, and days later. It's phenomenal. I'll do whatever you ask me to do. I can't say that for too many people.
I feel so special. We are like I never so I wasn't born. As you know, I don't have any sisters. However, by default, you were my sister. Like growing up, your picture and your daughter's picture was all my mother. My mother had it everywhere. So like you're my sister. So this is the reasoning for this
Absolutely.
Sis Talk podcast. So
Absolutely.
I had to ask someone who I consider to be my sister, will she join me? Can we have these tough, hard conversations together? And
Yeah.
in a sparkling way, right? So I thank you for being here too. So I just want to give everybody a heads up of what we're going to be talking. First of all, welcome. Thank you for listening. This Sister
Okay.
Cipher is labeled Beginnings and Breakthroughs. We're launching our SisStars Cipher podcast, T and I. So join us as we engage in the art of conversation and real communication in real time.
Yeah.
We're creating an authentic space where viewers can actively participate, ask questions, and contribute to the unfolding conversations, enriching the overall viewing experience and fostering a sense of community. Going live always adds an element of spontaneity. It's capturing the raw and unscripted essence of the discussions, making this SisStars podcast more relatable and compelling for you, our listening audience. We will be embracing vulnerability and revealing the power of sharing personal stories, breakthroughs, barriers, whilst overcoming life's toughest challenges to get her together. Stay tuned in with Reality Speaks TV. You remember, we real people, real talk in real time. So, sis, I just wanted to break down the word together. If you look at the word together, it's like to get her, right? To get her. So it's like, oh wow, come get my sister. Sister, come get me. You know, let's get us together, right? So I
I'll
was just,
take it.
I really thought that was interesting. So I just wanted to I invited you on this podcast because I wanted us to speak candidly about issues. And the issue that I came up with that I wanted to be candid with you today is about solo parenting, right? Like,
Mm,
people are single mothers. It's not always single mothers. We have single fathers, we have
yeah,
caretakers. Sometimes Nana is doing a job,
yeah.
grandma, Mima is doing a job, auntie's doing a job, sister. So I just wanted us to talk about, or let me ask you, what are some of the reasons why you think we're raising children alone nowadays?
Well, I elaborated on a question for some time, and I really want to know, like, when you say raising alone, like, what exactly do you mean? What is alone to you, so that I can
Oh,
answer?
oh, very good. So in this case, I mean, like, say if for me, my personal situation is I raised them alone, meaning without the help of another parent or without another guardian or caretaker in place. So
Okay.
it was just me, and I didn't have any help from their dad or from the dad side of the family or from siblings, or I just pretty much raised them solo. And then for me raising them solo was I was a single parent, so it was kind of like by default. So that's what I mean by alone. I guess by like
Okay.
single.
Okay. Okay. Well, am I speaking in general or am I just speaking?
Whatever comes to the heart. Like,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
if I speak in general, I can't really say I was alone. I mean, I didn't always have live-in help. However,
Mm-hmm.
I did have assistance, and even if it came sporadically and part-time and temporarily from here, there, and there, you know, the journey as a parent wasn't always alone. However, when I could think about it being alone, the reason for that pretty much was because I felt like I needed to be more protective. I felt like, people, places, and things just weren't suitable to be around me and my child.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was just my duties because this is just the way the cookie crumbled at this
Yeah.
point in time, and I took the good with the bad, and why it ends up that way. I don't know because I don't think anybody wants to really have children and just be alone. You
Mm-hmm.
want help and you want the extra set of eyes, ears, hands, the extra set of income. You want
Yes.
that. I don't know why um it really ends up us being alone, but we do an amazing job whether we're alone or
Yes.
we're not. It's a
Yeah.
it's a natural instinct to just kick into gear and do what you have to do as a caretaker, as the next of kin, as whatever your position, whatever you fall into, you just have
That's
to make
right.
sure you like kick ass when you do it. Um,
Kick the ass. And then I think that's so what you said. I really like it. And what I'm thinking about is the fact that I overcame it. I was like, my children now are 21, 19,
isn't it
and
nice to look back at everybody and be like, wow, look at my babies.
yes, it's nice.
I did that.
It feels good. It feels good. And with that, I wanted to. I just lost my train of thought.
I
Something
apologize.
just texted me. No, no, no worry. I just got distracted. But I was gonna say that when I raised my children, I don't. Maybe it's not supposed to say that's not. What I'm getting off track because I just got a text that distracted me. So I'm trying to get back on track. And the I guess what I want to ask you is what impact do you think that does it have on a child to have like a sporadic parent or parents
It has
that's
an
not
emotional
going
impact
to.
sometimes. It has a psychological impact. It has it has a damaging impact, because the inconsistencies like hurt them more than they are able to express, and in time is something that you come to figure out if you didn't learn that sooner about the absent parent or later. It has a big impact in so many ways on the kids. However, you just have to be honest with them and let them know what it is and what it is not, to help them with beginning to cope or beginning to understand. Like, look, it's just
Hmm.
us, kid. You know what I mean? I got your back. I'm sorry it's this way. Like, and just reassure them it's gonna be like okay, but it definitely has an impact. And sometimes it has a life lasting impact. It's just something
Yes.
that you never forget. So when you carry something with you for so long and you just don't forget it, what do we classify that as? We classify
Mm.
it as trauma.
Yes. Yes, we classify it as trauma. And
Indeed.
that in that trauma, I had to just stop real quick. I'm like, that's exactly what happened to me. Having a missing parent, it traumatized me. And then
Yeah,
it also affected my relationship with men
with
in
men.
general. Yeah.
Yes,
And then
yes,
these are the same men that I made the children with. So when I
I
ended
get it.
up being left alone, I guess I was very bitter. I have to say that I was very disappointed, very angry, and when they got a certain age where I couldn't turn back, I got a little bit of bitterness, but I added sugar. Like eventually I added a little honey to that bitterness, but I was really struggling, T. I was really struggling, Sissy. I was like, every man that come my way, I'm gonna put the poison on them so they will ever wish they would look at me again. I was just, and that, and that poison was just like to make them fall in love with me so I could hurt their feelings, like my father did me, or like my brothers did me, or any man that was in my
Wow.
life that didn't show up for me. I felt like I was gonna take it out on every man, but what I ended up doing was raising young men. So I had the opportunity to control
Install
the
some things.
narrative. Yeah, but it's still hard. Right now they're at a crossroad where they like that. You know, they don't really know what they want to do, and I don't really want to put them out. So it's kind of like that single parenting. I wish they had a. I wish they had another parent or another caretaker, whoever,
That was
aunt, somebody.
responsible enough and trustworthy enough to pick up the slack now after all of this time, like take some of the slack for you do 5 years straight.
Solid years.
You get them to a certain point and it would be nice, I guess it's just, who we had children by, because not every man is this way. You have some men that want to be there, beg
Yes.
to be there, pay to be there, and they're not allowed to be there.
Oh my goodness. Isn't that another topic?
It's
I think
disgusting. It's
it's
like, wow,
disgusting.
because no matter what, and the person who I share in common with, he will vouch to this. He won't agree with me on much. He'll agree with me on this statement here. No matter what we went through, no matter how many fights or trials or tribulations we went through, when it came to a point of us being oil and water, listen, I call grandma, I call auntie, I'll call cousin, hey, the kid's gonna be there. Tell them to get the kid from there. It's not about you and the person no more. If it don't work, you gotta let it go. However, you should not take the kid if they still loving the kid and still willing to be responsible for the kid. You can't use the kid as leverage and pawns. It's just a nasty thing to do,
Mm.
and then you got that parent creating a double trauma because now you're without a parent or that mom. Either it could be either way. It could be the man being nasty, you know, and then you have them looking at you away like, dang, like you didn't even let me see my dad. Like you didn't help me. You didn't even, you know what I mean? Because we still have a duty to take the kid to the other side. If they're rejected, shunned, or like, yeah, no, I don't want nothing to do with that. All right. Remember you said that. You know what I mean? However, I just feel like, when things don't work out in a relationship, you
Mhm.
still share the kid. It's
Mhm.
important, it's healthy. Hell, whoever is the primary parent, we need that time, share the kid.
Well, we don't want the kid going over the other lady. They got a new man or woman, so that adds another. Oh, don't have all these girls or men or people around my children. Don't have them at the bar, don't have them at the dance, don't have them at this meeting, just trying to control what's going on. So I really wish I had somebody to say that. I didn't have any parent knocking down the door trying to get to their children. So that was that was interesting.
Well, I let her, I always let her go, and it would be with immediate family. So if you spend time, you You know, you have to bring her back to that family. This is when she was like a little person, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then it got to the point where, listen, you're old enough, you can speak, you can, you know what's right from wrong. If you want to go that way, you go that way. If you don't
Right.
want to go that way, I'm not going to force you. So it's all about too, like I had said earlier, if the person is even responsible enough, you know, if they're not keeping us in a state of being territorial because the lack of common sense maybe, or the lack of nurturing you possess. You know, not everyone
Mhm.
that has children should be a parent.
That's right. That's right. Wow. And let me see. Uh, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is not even on this paper, but I wanted to also talk about some ways to cope, you know, on those hard days, those days that we're overwhelmed. You know, for
Ooh,
me, it was a cry in the dark, you know.
okay.
So I don't know what it
Coping.
will look like for someone else.
Yeah, for coping, I can remember needing to cope and um see, I have this thing, I'm gonna be honest, like I used to just drink my wine, just close myself off somewhere and drink my wine because I'm not separating from my kid. Like, so I'll just be in the bathroom and she'll be like running the whole house, like out there, you know,
Hmm.
and then you think about all that you do and all that you have to do and how much you compromise and you have to find a way to cope. And some people, there's various methods, like some people drink.
Yes.
Some people will have a smoke, you know, some people will go shopping if they can, time, you know. Some people will fall into the hands of the wrong people because you're looking for something of substance, you're looking for some type of support, you know. There's just many different ways of coping. I used to just go when I could, you know, hey, ma, couple of days, just go when I could, you know, and it wasn't a lot that I could do that because my daughter was the only grandchild. She was the only grandchild on both sides for 10 years. So I was like kind of like I was like kind of lucky, you know. So when I could stretch my leg a little bit, I made sure I did that just to try and keep a balance. And I still do it. She's 25. You
Yeah.
know, she's like, "Mom, where you going?" I'm like, I need 72 hours, kid. I'll be back." You know what I mean? So whatever you do to cope, you know, just make sure you're not like hurting yourself or hurting anyone else. You know what I mean? And yes, you're coping. You still have longevity. You know, because that's like another thing, falling into addiction while trying to cope, doing too much of drinking, too much of smoking. You know, and I never want to do too much of anything. I don't even want to sleep too much, and I like to take my naps, you know. But you drink too much water, you're gonna drown. So too much of anything is not good for you. So that was something else that I was really mindful of. Like, you know, I don't want to be addicted to nothing that I'm doing. So watch what you're doing and how you're doing it, even though you're coping, because you can fall into depression like really quick with
Yes.
coping, you know.
Yes.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Good
Mahogany.
at yourself.
Is this? I'm well. That's Mahogany.
Yes.
Hi, Mahogany. I'm T.
Hi T, how you feeling tonight?
I'm well, lady. How do you cope?
Great. Same same method. My mom used to take my children sometimes. Um, Same method. I got into a habit where I would smoke cigarettes sometime, but I
Yeah,
stopped
I
doing
did
that.
that too.
And one thing that I would do was just listen to music at times, and that was
Yeah.
my thing. And I still do the same thing. Just listen to music, open some windows, catch some fresh air. And that's how I would cope when my kids were younger. My kids are 22, 24, and 20.
Oh, God bless
So
you.
thank
Mm,
you. So
well,
coloring was another one too, adult coloring book. And also, hanging out with my friends, with my girls sometime from
yeah,
time
when
to
you
time.
can. Yeah, makes
Hmm.
sense.
And that was my way of coping. That was
That's good
definitely my
too.
way of coping. And it
Thank
it worked, But don't ask my kids sometimes how I used to act because they'll tell you something different, you know.
Mine would
They'll tell
too.
you something totally different. But that was my way of coping. And, also like having, some sweets or some ice cream or something like that.
Okay.
And that was my way of doing things. And that was it. Hanging out for a little bit, then back to reality
Yeah.
once you come back in the house. And it's like, okay, I did it. Okay, I did this week. I think I could do it again for another week. And now here we are. They're all older. And now I'm like, dang, it's kind of boring sometimes. But we
Yeah,
made
they
it
kept us
through.
busy.
Yes, by the grace of God, we definitely made it through.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we made it through.
We
So
made
you
it
know what I
through.
want to ask you, ladies. Thank you for that. That was really enlightening. So I don't want to, I guess, tell on one of my children they hate when I do that, but one of my adult children just asked me last week, "Do you think my father thinks about me?"
Oh,
So how do we help our children cope? Because I told him yes. I said, yeah, I know he thinking about you. I put a post up and he liked it. He loved it. So that was my knee jerk reaction because I felt it. First of all, I wasn't expecting it, but I felt it. I felt it. It was like, oh, I never thought he would ask that. I felt like me buying him all the stuff that he wanted was a way to, get his mind off of the fact that I was a whole missing parent. So what can we tell other parents to help their children to cope from all ages? Mind you, this is my adult child.
Mm, that's one to think about for a
it
quick.
really is. And I'm not sure myself because we don't want to lie.
Absolutely.
They're old enough now to where if it's the harsh reality, you just need to know so that you don't suffer. If you feel like you want to reach out and you want to have that conversation, yo, dad, what's up? Like, what's going on? That's something that's gonna have to come. Imano, imano. How they say it? Mano, imano.
Right.
And we really can't tell them anything other than, hey, call them up and ask them. Like my kid, listen, don't ask me about that man. You call your dad and you holler at him. How old are you? 25. Okay, I did my time. You ask me about me, I tell you.
Mhm.
You ask me about him, I'm gonna send you that way. I don't care how I feel about him. He's alive and well. So as
Absolutely.
long as they have access, they should be able to reach out and have that
Yes.
conversation. Or or we as parents and we can see that as a burden on them. If you got the number, no matter how old they are, you might have to reach out and pass the
Mhm.
phone. Hey, your son asked me something the other day. I didn't know how to answer him. Hold on for a second. Here, your father. Boom. If that's something that you have the power to do, I'll
No
admit that
access.
early. I'm
No
sorry.
access.
No
No
access. I'm
access.
sorry about that.
Yeah. That's
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 different.
yeah, that's
It
different.
is. I think also finding a therapist as well is also another good thing that I'm leaning into as well is therapy. Someone that looks like him that has an understanding. I know it's kind of hard. We have to do a lot of research to find somebody that looks like us in this area to even what's the name, but now they have online therapy where you can search online and find somebody that looks like you and you can read their credentials and see a little bit of brief history of where they come from. That could be a good that could be something good as well for
Mm-hmm.
him to, it's not something that's going to be right away, but it's something that'll gradually break down those walls of how he's feeling, and then he could dig a little deeper and things of that nature with
Mm-hmm.
someone that studied this type of stuff right here of counseling and how to dig in deep with people that has that type of trauma and stuff like that,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, because they're especially equipped for that stuff. I'm reading some of the stuff right now for theories of counseling and counseling techniques. I'm like, yeah, this is not my field right here. I just need to get this little piece of paper and be done. There's people out there that are truly passionate about counseling and helping
And
people
it's
and things of
important.
that
The
nature.
passion is important.
So I would look for somebody, the keyword in their little biography. I've been passionate about that, and I think that's another great way of helping him as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's definitely a great way. It's just wow, yeah.
Well, I
That's
used to
just
take both of them, and then they both got dismissed because they wouldn't talk to the therapist. Therapist like, listen,
I was
mom, you
about to
can't
say that.
talk to them. Like they not all of them. Like so, I don't know. We joined the gym. I don't know.
That's
It's a
good.
that's
start.
good.
That's real good. Shoot, that the gym will take your mind off of anything from A to Z.
It sure will. It sure enough will. It will. Excuse me. Excuse me. Good Lord. Excuse me. But I think
No
that the gym is
worries.
the same spot.
Yeah. So that's pretty much. So I invited you ladies on, like I was telling Tiff. She's my first, I guess, real sister because I don't have any biological, so you know I don't know what it feels like, but I wanted to cultivate a space where I call my SisStars. My name is Sparkle, and what do stars do? So I invited you on
We
because
align.
in my mind, in my heart, you guys are stars to me. So SisStars, like that. I
Nice.
wanted to have this conversation with you all in front of our listening audience because I wanted to address the stigma that we're bitter or that we're
Oh,
angry or
oh.
Mm,
that and I wanted to and T, please, I wanted to talk about more like why are we bitter? Why are we angry?
Well, doggone it. We were left this way. We done went through some stuff. We done went through some physical stuff. We done went through some emotional stuff. We done went through our share of betrayal. We done went through forgiving and letting you back in and you reoccurring the
mhm,
same shenanigans. We done went through a whole bunch of hardship and disappointment with people who we really embedded ourselves with. You know what I mean? And that can leave anybody bitter when you invest the way that you do and you are just like
mhm.
disappointed. And then sometimes we give so many years to a person with no real commitment. And you think that the time invested is good enough. And then you could just like leave and be absent and or be gone or cheat or make a baby someplace else. That is enough to make a person bitter. However, being bitter is a state. It's a state that anybody can fall into. Staying bitter is an issue. And as strong as we are with all of the lessons we've learned and experiences we've been through, we don't stay bitter. You know, we
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 get
shouldn't.
better.
We shouldn't. Let me say we shouldn't stay bitter. There is some people, damn it, they taking that to the grave. They just like, anytime they see you 15 years later, like, dang, you still mad. That is insane. I
That is
knew you were
insane.
crazy. You gotta let it go. I don't not everyone stays bitter, but then I don't want to just be so broad and say um everyone is still bitter. So it's a toss up in the whole being bitter still and not being bitter. But if you are bitter, it's understood. And you have to understand that period, point blank, you can't stay there. It's not healthy. It's not good
Mm-mm,
on the heart. You don't want to function. You don't function right as a person. You don't do things on
mm-mm.
time. You don't do what you're supposed to do. You might lose a lot of weight. You're not eating right. Your hair fall out. All kind of stuff happen when you just carrying around all of that stuff. And then
Mhm.
people be over there living their life. They ain't even in the same place you would. They live,
I
girl,
heard
bye.
it. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
you
Yes.
living. It's time for me to live. You know what I mean? What about you, Mahogany? What do you think?
I've seen it for myself recently.
What was
My
that?
mom being bitter with my dad. It was just crazy. Like I'm like, wow, you really like you still acting like that after 47 years? You know what I'm saying? It was just crazy. I really couldn't understand it. So I asked my friend and my dad, because my brother, God bless, my brother passed away recently.
God bless
And
him.
we had the repast, and my dad and my aunt showed up. I'm like, oh, this is great. And then my sister also told me, she was like, Daddy called your mother. And she was like, yeah, all right, Larry. Yep. All right. No, not today. I was like, what? Why she acting like that? Like, I love both of y'all equally. Y'all both my parents. I grew up with both of y'all. What's really good? Like, dang, Ma. I didn't say that to her because my mother's sensitive. So I didn't say anything to her. But inside, I'm like, dang, she's still upset. Like, what is it?
You,
Then he came to the repast and she went to give him a hug and she really was like on some, hey Larry. I'm like, oh man. So then I asked my friend, I said, what do you think? She said, well, we share almost the same birthday, we share the same sign. And my mom is April 17th. She's a Taurus, the Ram. She was like, we hold on to stuff for a very long time. And I'm like, but wow, like that long? I needed to understand, like, what is it? But it's not up to me to understand. Now I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone. It's not up to me to understand. That's it. That's
well,
between y'all. I'm not trying to get in and try to figure out. I got enough things I got to figure out for myself. I'm done. I don't got to
you
figure
ever
that
thought?
out.
Have you ever thought that to ask like, Ma, do you care to? Because I'm older now, Ma. Do you care to share what happened? What was the final straw for you that left you this way and so resentful toward Daddy? Have you ever thought to ask her? Because my father is terrible, Daddy. I'm Daddy's girl, but he is. You, don't say your mother's name. I'm using the clean version, and I'm just like, dang, Dad, like but they were younger
I've
too,
never asked.
and they made mistakes too, and they've done a lot of
Right.
things to each other too, and then mainly the kid goes with the mom, you know what I mean? So now Dad is over there, and it just be bad for some people, and since you used your mom and your dad, it makes me think about my parents, and my mom is like, she done went on with her life. She living her best life. And my dad is like, "Argh," you know? And I wonder why that is. I don't, you
I'm
should
gonna ask.
probably ask
I'm gonna
her so you could
ask because
at
I've never
least try
seen
to
that side
understand.
before. Right. I never seen that side before. But as far as me being holding on to something bitter, I was like that for a few years, but then I just let it go. And I was like, you know what? You riding off in the sunset, like you said already. You didn't have more kids. You know what? You living your whole life. I hear it. It's time for me to do my thing now. And
That's
now
right.
I'm just like this. It's just so good to just live and
Ain't
let
no feeling like
live
being
and
free.
just, yeah, free as a bird. Oh my goodness, it feels so good.
Like
It's just
finally
a
looking out
really
for
good feeling.
ourselves.
Yes, and then like now more can come to me now
Yeah.
because I'm free
Yes.
versus sitting here
That's
like F
correct.
that, like they need more, and I think it was bitterness, but was it really bitterness or was it jealousy?
It's everything. Better is fall under
It's everything.
all that, because we
Yeah.
possessing all those feelings. So, in a nutshell, we'll just say bitter because we felt every bit of that at some point in time, at any time for a long time until we don't feel it in time anymore.
It only
Yeah.
took me 20 years. It only took me 20 years.
No judgment.
Absolutely not.
No judgment
In
here.
due time. In due time. And that's what it took was time and time.
Yeah. No
Hmm.
judgment.
Right.
Welcome,
Absolutely.
Hi,
Shy.
fourth person.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Well, ladies doing. I'm sorry. How are you ladies doing?
Wow,
Doing
lady.
well.
Thank you. And you?
Thank you.
I'm good. I'm blessed. I can't complain. I'm sorry I'm late. charge the time, not my heart. I promise.
You got that.
Well, we were just in a cipher talking about. So this is actually titled "Beginnings and Breakthroughs in Life."
Oh,
Babe, we can't hear you.
can't hear you.
Okay, we can't hear you. Okay, there you go. It should be coming in. Nope, nope. We still can't hear you. You still muted.
You're not going outside. Oh.
So how y'all ladies doing tonight?
We're doing good. How are
Good.
you?
Good, good. Are you guys from New York as well?
I am in New York. I am in Spencer, New York by Ithaca.
Okay.
Do you know where that is?
Um, no,
I've heard of
I know
Ithaca.
it's upstate. I know it's upstate somewhere up here.
And you?
Right.
I'm upstate as well. I'm in Utica, but I'm
Okay.
from New York City.
Me too.
I'm in
Brooklyn.
Utica as well. Okay.
Okay.
I'm from the Bronx.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. I'm from Queens.
Okay. She got all the boroughs up in here. Brooklyn,
Right?
Queens,
Yes.
Bronx.
Okay.
Are you back?
I'm back.
Okay. And
From
better
Okay.
than ever.
SisStars.
There you go.
Okay.
We were just getting acquainted.
I love that. I like that. I'm about to log off and let y'all keep shining bright like a diamond.
Oh no, man, we need your sparkle.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes. Okay, there we are.
Good deal.
All right. So I was just saying that I don't have any biological sisters. I invited y'all on because y'all are all the like the name start at Sparkle. So that's why I asked you all. And I wanted to tell you again, the topic is beginnings and breakthroughs. This is the
Mm,
launch of the SisStar Cypher podcast. And I wanted to talk about, pretty much why are we raising our children by ourselves? What are the reasons? What are the reasoning behind it? So we talked about that. And we also talked about ways we can cope.
okay, yeah. Well, I wasn't in a single parent household. My mom remarried. She remarried, and she had a long lasting relationship with my stepfather. Um, but her and my dad remarried also. So, it was a bounce around situation, but it was still a connected village. So you understand what I'm saying? Like everybody still, played their part, grandparents, and so on and so on. So
Right.
it was always, some type of togetherness, even with my dad's when he remarried and his new wife, you couldn't tell I wasn't biologically hers whenever I went, to her
That's a
house. I
blessing.
had baby pictures hanging, and I was, everyone knew me. So, it was a different upbringing. But me coming from New York City, you do get accustomed to single parent households. My grandmother, she was a single parent. My fraternal grandmother. So, you see this thing and it's all around you. It is inside of your community, and it's something that you're a part of. So you become a product of that environment, even if you weren't in a single parent household, if that makes sense, right?
It does. It does.
So some of the things that I see change since when you say, what are some coping mechanisms? Back then you had some coping mechanisms. You had some coping mechanisms, because if a sister can't pay her rent, her homegirls gonna get together and they're gonna throw a rent party, right? They're gonna fry some fish. They're gonna do something to make it happen back then when it was Barbara and Shirley and them. But now we got Taquisha and them, and they're not so togetherness in the community. And it's hard to bring forth Copenhagen things that we can operate to bring forth solutions inside of our community. If that makes sense, right? So I'm happy to be here if we bringing forth solutions to our real in the hood problems, because that is a problem, being a single parent. Not and 90% of the time it is single women, but even shout out to those single brothers that's out there and they're holding down their kids as single fathers, and taking a place to have they feminine side touch, because they got to play mom sometimes too.
Yes.
Yeah. And the
right?
grandmother's doing it all over again.
Grandmas, aunties, I'm seeing a
Yeah.
lot of that step up. So, shout out to those
Hmm.
people that are taking on those responsibilities, because those are some harsh responsibilities.
I
Parenthood,
was I was definitely
guardianship,
one of the aunties that took care of the
right?
kids. I
And
was one
Yes.
of those aunties that raised my niece and nephew.
it gets
And
it's
kinship is a different. It's different. It's different. It's not like you adopting like children that you don't know. Kinship is
mhm,
really extremely. It's definitely very challenging to
mhm,
raise your family, because when a court tells you they can't see their mother, you're like, oh, that's my sister. She could come through. She come over. No, she shouldn't. You let her over, but you don't understand the dynamics of why you shouldn't allow that mom to be a part of that child's life.
It messes
Not
up
until,
everything.
yes, and you don't realize that. Well, I didn't realize that until later on, and I'm like, oh, this is why he said
mhm.
that, you know,
But
and
even with that, sis, even with that, I support you. Let me just say that. You go, girl. Even
right.
if it's through the court system and you stepped out to be someone's guardianship, you took your life and you sacrifice everything that you are for someone else's child. So I support that. Kudos to you. I'm sorry.
Thank you. No, it's okay. So it is tough. But the thing is, this is that when you, and that's what happened to me. I was in a relationship with my son's father. I have one biological son. And we went through chemo because I had cancer. I had ovarian cancer at a young age at 25, had a son. So we did that together. Him and I did that together. Then 2 years later, it's like, yo, this is my sister's kids. What we gonna do? He's like, yo, we got this. I'm like, all right, cool. We got this. We gonna raise them. We gonna do this. She gonna get them back. Mm-mm. The Lord knew what he was doing when he did it. And I said, oh, this is for real. 2 years later down the line, it's like, oh, he didn't back down physically. He didn't say it himself, literally, but his behavior and his actions definitely said, I'm not doing this. He left, whatever. And it was cool. I'm like, all right, do your thing. I'm done. I can't have any more children physically because by the doctor's standards, I'm done or whatever. So now I'm raising these kids, and I think part of it is because of that, is because of the family dynamics. So all the pressure in the household now, it's like, yo, I thought it was supposed to be me and you. Now it's me, you, and the other kids, and your mom is coming up here to live. And I'm like, come on, everybody, let's go. This is what we do. So the pressure from all of that. So now it's like he's gone, and now I'm here raising my son, and now I'm raising my sister's kids. I'm doing this all by myself now. And I'm like, well, dang, I ain't signed for all of this, but I'm going to do it anyway because I
You
signed up
built
to
for
do.
it, right? Some people are not
Yeah,
family oriented. I
so I
don't,
did it.
yeah, I don't think that I don't think that I'm like too oriented myself because I've spent a lot of time by myself from 16. I'm 44 now. I was on my own since 16 years of age, like out of my
Mm,
mother's house,
wow,
so I know gatherings, I know a cookout here and there, I know an occasion, an event. I know if I'm showing up or not. I know when I get there who I'm going to be around. I also know when I leave from there, I'm not going to be around for a while. You know what I mean? So that's
right,
been a thing with me for so long that I'm very closed off and I'm very isolated. And I feel like I understand why I'm this way now. It's just to protect my sanity. It's to protect my energy. It's just to alleviate and avoid certain situations and putting more trauma on me. You know what I mean?
mm,
And some people are just not oriented. And when you can understand why they're not oriented, you'll understand why you are oriented. You know what I mean? If
right,
it makes sense.
yes,
hmm So
absolutely,
when in a situation like that, you got to be with, like-minded, someone that's like-minded, someone who's down for the crowd, the crew, and is gonna
right,
ride until the wheels fall. Other than that, it could be like overwhelming, if you will, for someone who is not even
yes,
oriented to begin with. They might
Yes.
think they can do it and give it a shot because it's something that they low key desire and wish that they had in life. You know what I mean? However, they'll fail
Right.
miserably because it's not innate.
But I do. Right. But I do give him like his props though, because he did stick in there and he
Absolutely.
still stuck in there. So
Absolutely.
and
As we
he
should.
treats my niece and nephew as his own and everything to this day. So he's an amazing person and everything. But I think that's another reason why in our community, why we do have a lot of raising children on our own is because we take on a whole lot as well.
Yeah.
We take
Amen to
on all of
that.
our family situations to that. So
Yeah.
I think that's one of the main reasons. And I mean, as Black people, we don't turn our backs on our family a lot of times. And that's great that you protect your energy and protect yourself, because that's what I'm learning in my later years, is to protect myself and things of that nature. It felt good to tell somebody, no, you can't come over, you can't stay with
It's gonna
me or
compromise
live with
your
me.
Isn't
peace.
that crazy
Right,
how you
It's
have
gonna
to
have to
get
be a no.
to a certain
right.
point in your age as a black woman, to where you had enough, to where you have to put limitations on how much love you have to give out. um that is a for sure thing that I would love to build on as the young sisterhood, is to teach them early on how to um dictate what energy should be placed out there, right?
Transferred
Because
and
yeah,
received.
yeah, because there's no rule book on, because they wait, what I say, until you maybe about 30 years old, and then you're like, okay, I got to protect my peace now. And 30 years is a long time to have open, bound peace exchange, energy exchange on any accord. But
Like
if you can
how
nip
much
it in
you
the
went through in
bud,
those 30
yeah.
years.
And
Right.
a lot of people don't realize that 30 years, that's
Three
your younger
decades.
years are shorter than your older years. You're younger for so much less of time than you are being an adult. So if you can, have that energy molded into placed into the right things for our young sisters and our young brothers, because that it starts with them as well. They don't have too much guidance. Speaking on, to me, single parent household, just black families, period. It is such a dynamic topic and something that's heartfelt to me, because our people don't realize how deep and fundamental it is for us to realize when we get out here and we're starting these families, how these families are starting. Now, in today's age,
Uh-huh.
families is not even started through courtship. They're not even courting and dating no more. It's just the inbox. Let's meet up, Netflix and chill, and then bam, a baby pop out. You don't know nothing about this person. You don't know nothing about their history. You have, and they probably don't even know nothing about their history to even tell you about their history, because it's stopping at the grandmothers nowadays. Our kids don't even know who their great grandparents is. So there's not even uh no legacy beforehand, and there's no looking towards legacy in the after effect, right? Our brothers, they're getting with these women, they are having these kids, and then they dipping off, and the next one that got it, because shorty not bad no more after she done pushed that baby out, you know now it's the next one, and they keep happening. So now brother got a whole line of legacies that's out here, that's untied to any roots. Can you imagine how dynamic that is to our people, to where it's deteriorating who we are, because we have no set bounds and roots at all? These kids is not even getting together as family ties and writing down, okay, well, this is your grandfather on this side, this is who he's married to, this is where this goes, this is how a family tree started. There's no more family trees no more, right? So single parent, it really is breaking us down, and it's just adding on to the mental and systematic slavery that we keep volunteering for. Right? We keep volunteering for it. And our sisters, they are holding it down. I salute every single woman that's out there that is doing it with kids.
Man.
Okay. I seen this. I seen a woman get up, go to work, drop her kids off from Queens, New York, all the way to the Bronx every morning. My kid's godmother, she did it every morning.
Them
While
steps are no joke.
can
Carrying
you
a
imagine?
stroller, a baby
Oh my!
bag, yourself, the kid. You gotta have
And
the
her
bottle
daughter
and the
had her own
bobo.
doll
Yeah.
stroller. So she
Right.
had two strollers. She had her stroller and she had the little baby doll stroller. I seen it, and she was just trying to stay above float
I
and
remember them days.
Right.
I remember those
I
and our
days.
remember.
brothers
Sissy,
don't
you know
even
we know.
take
Yes.
two
Broadway
shits to
Junction.
realize.
Mm.
Can you imagine if a brother had to wake up, get the kids done, do breakfast, hair, brush teeth, wash face, clothes right, grease on their face because you can't send to school looking like any old thing. Make sure you know they book bags is packed, homework is in there. If they got any projects, that gotta go in the book bag too. Please don't break the project. Find transportation if you ain't driving. Oh shit. Can I curse on you? I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Oh shit, if you ain't got no transportation, now you ain't don't let it be public transportation. So now you got two holla-head sleepy kids that ain't really well rested. You're about to go send them into the system
Hurry
and
up.
get the
Come
food done.
on.
Right? Come on. And they don't even get to give us credit just for the fucking morning time. We ain't talking about what come after the morning. We talking about before the coffee even hit our lips, before you take that pull of that Newport to say, damn
Coffee?
bitch,
What
you did
coffee?
it.
You
Right?
had time to get coffee? Girl, you bad.
Come on. And our brothers don't even give us that credibility to say, oh shit, this lady got a lot on her plate just by the fucking morning.
And that's exactly what I wanted to speak about, because I talked to I have 5 brothers and a man. And out of listening to all of them, all I'm hearing is that we're bitter. How the hell we bitter? Y'all left. You're not taking accountability for the fact that you left and the trauma and drama that it caused when you did leave. You're not taking into accountability. That's what's lacking. The counterpart too is
The
lacking
back and forth.
if we go back all the way to so-called slavery days, this man still didn't take accountability. To this day, y'all still not taking accountability. You got a nerve to call us bitter. Listen, I'm ready to bite your whole head off. You know what I mean?
We tired. We ain't bitter. We fucking tired. We exhausted, my nigga. Let us y'all not. And then if we want to you telling us how tired the fuck you are. That's your rebuttal. So now, as Black women, we gotta feel bad for your tiredness, and then we forgot all about our fucking tiredness to begin with.
And I never had a sister to cry that to. So here we are, right? Now that we got that out, we got a couple of comments, guys. So it says, Kamal Fardan says, great conversation. As if you guys know one another before and chatted before. And that's that one. And then this one says, this is Women's Wednesday and Black History Month. We have to change this new history.
I agree to that.
Okay, so the first question, the host, Miss Sparks Plenty, got all of us 3 ladies together, and no, we did not know one another before this podcast, and it's delightful. I'm glad to be here. I was having microphone problems. I was having tech problems. I was having issues up until 10 minutes prior to 7. You know what I mean? And I've been ready since 2 weeks ago.
You've been ready since 2 weeks ago. You was
glad
ready to go
be
when
here.
I asked you the first day.
Likewise.
And then I had some issues getting here too. And then I'm here, and then I'm talking like I never talked to before. I'm like, A-B, like, you're like, what's that about? You know, so obviously we always have to overcome these hidden obstacles to do a thing, right?
Indeed.
And then now we finally made it, and I'm grateful. And I want to just take this time out before we go. We have 5 minutes left. I want each and every one of you to tell the listening audience who you are, why you decided to come today, and if anybody wanted to follow up with you, what would be the best method?
Okay, so we have 4 minutes.
And my bad.
I'm sorry, we got 4 minutes. We'll take a minute apiece.
Okay.
Go ahead, ladies.
Okay, well, everybody, I'm Sha Chanel, the one and only crazy lady. I am a master marketer, artist, and a philanthropist. I am a Black soaring queen because I believe in fighting for my people. I could be found, of course, on this platform whenever Sister Sparkle have me, because I'll be trying to show up for her. Or I could be reached on all social media. Sha Chanel, blame Sha, she did it as my artist tag. Um, yeah, and I do good artwork, y'all. I'm trying, okay? I am really trying to make sure our people see that we are beautiful in every sense of the word.
Me next. I'm Tracy. I can be found on Instagram at Golden Divine Skin. I make my own body butters. You can find me there and take a look at what I have. If you would like anything, you can inbox me on Instagram. And I'm glad to be here because there are things that I've been struggling with, and I just want to be able to hear from others like me what they've been through as well, and also how we can grow and help our children to be those type of men to court women and to take care of women and to be good to them. And I think one way of doing that is being the good person and showing them how to do that, because I think that's what's needed, is to show them the right way of doing it. And there
I'm
we had
Tiffany
it.
Simone. I didn't want to anticipate how this would go. I kind of just wanted to chillax. I said, oh, I'm going to have me some Jameson and ginger ale, and I'm just going to tuck away. No Jameson and ginger ale, just spring water. I'm glad to be here. I'm a merchant, entrepreneur, mother of one. Um, I really don't want to be reached. I want to be viewed, So if you guys just give some feedback and let us know how you felt about all four of us spending this hour together, and if you learned anything from it, that would be gratifying enough. Like I said it earlier, I'm kind of like incognito. I'm just like isolated and in my own space, but I'm glad to be here with you ladies, and it's all love. And thank you, Sissy, for having me.
It's all love. And
Indeed.
hi. Oh, sorry. What did you say, T?
No, indeed, it's all love.
Oh, yes. And I wanted to say to Shy earlier, you said, yeah, I'm all about the solutions. I actually researched some solutions, and one of the solutions we're being proactive in now, which is speak about it. Share your story, tell your stories of survival, and then share it with others. So we choosing the route to share our stories, share our wisdom. And like you said, to the young people coming up, listening, we'll share it and we'll stay tuned. So you ladies, now that I got you all in one space, what would be the next topic we're talking about? Throw it out there. No wrong answers.
Um,
How about something we always loved, should have pursued, but didn't exactly because we just didn't have the time or really focus on that area. Like for me, it would be music, like my passion for music,
what do you like
and my
about
lack of
music?
pursuit.
See,
What do you
that's
like about
deep.
music?
Oh, I write and I sing, and
That's
um,
crazy. Let me tell you, sis, just tonight, I told Sparkle, just tonight, this Grammy Award winning record label is signing me as their media designer. So I
beautiful.
asked, right? I was like, listen, I gotta call y'all back. Yeah, listen, I'm ghetto with everybody, okay? This me, y'all, I don't change. Okay. So I was like, listen, I gotta call y'all back. We can talk about it. I'm with all of it, but I gotta do this show tonight with my sis. But I asked, can I have some creative input with the music scene? Because I also have experience in that. So look how the universe would align it, right?
Yeah,
Look how the universe will align it. Because I ain't
right.
gonna let you say no. Ask Sparkle, I will hound you down. You can tell me no.
Well,
I'm
in this
sorry,
case,
not today.
in this case, reach in, tap in. You got me on music. But if it's really not the topic of music, I just be like,
No,
I'm
no.
not
I think
available for it that
music
much.
is something that we all can relate to
Frequencies,
at one time or another in our day, in our life, and something. And it is reaching the masses at a quick standpoint. The problem is, like I told them, is today's music don't hold no damn substance.
Man.
Okay, there's no substance in the music today. You can't
Right.
even get a good wedding song popping today. I can't marry my man going down the aisle to my booty hole brown. Okay, we just not. We can't do it. We can't do it. Don't get me
Shout
wrong.
out to
We got
Sexy Red.
Beyonce, but yeah, shout out to Sexy Red.
Sexy.
I ain't gonna take no creative,
Sexy.
points from the sister or whatever.
But I
But I'm
get you
just
though.
saying, we need music for other
Oh yeah, for sure.
situations. We can't
For
just
sure.
have music for shaking our ass and shooting a club up. We
Not
gotta have
quiet.
some music for walking down the aisle. We need music for graduation. We need music for, for
Anthems.
floral
Yeah.
arrangement, for baby showers, for
Soundtracks.
all soundtracks, commercials.
Yeah.
And I've been beating the pavement trying to
Snippets.
tell these kids this, and all you see is, well, it's a lot of rebuttals that turn into excuses. I'm gonna say that.
Music it is. You heard it here, ladies
Well,
and gentlemen.
I'm at Simone5267 is my Instagram, SYMONE5267. You know, I'm always up for, well, no, I'm not always up for a podcast, but I was up for this podcast, and I'll always be up for a podcast with us ladies. I'll always be up for that. I'm real
I'm with
particular
it.
about where I direct my time, energy, where I place myself for my mind, my spirit, and everything else. So that's really important to me. Yeah, you could tap in. I would love that. I'll send some stuff. You could send some stuff. I'll let you know what note I'm on. If there's an open mic and I'm shooting into the city, I'm there for it. I'm down for the music. I'm down. There,
Listen, we
here,
got
over
some great
there,
things.
on the
We
West
got some-
Coast, wherever you want to go. Like music
Let's do
will
it.
carry
Let's
the
do
way.
it. What about you, Sister Mahogany? I love your name. Oh, don't that just?
Thank
Ooh,
you.
that just be
Mahogany,
everything.
mahogany.
Put some
I really like
mahogany
it
in that.
too. I
Mahogany.
really, really enjoy that name. I gave
Yes,
myself that name. Yes,
I
I gave
love
myself that
that.
name. I'm just vibing off of what she said about music because I love music myself. My son is into music. My dad was a DJ since I was little. My brother rapped and he was down with doo-wop and the Bounce Squad in the Bronx and everything. Um, I would like to see what would the soundtrack of your life sound like? What would it look like? Um, what would it feel like? Would it feel like velvet? Would it feel like
It'll
coral
give you
reef when it comes
goosebumps.
out the water? A little bit of rocky but kind of soft. So I would like to maybe if we could just talk about that a little bit. And what are some things that you would put inside your soundtrack if it was that song that Luther made, "A House is Still a Home, even when there's no one there," you know?
To hold you
What would
tight.
you put? Yeah,
Yeah.
so I would like to think about something like that, like a soundtrack of life.
I
And
like that.
how could we change things a little bit?
That's
That
intimate.
Marvin, Marvin, so that's something I would like to think of and do because music is a lot. Like music
Yeah.
really it fills your soul and your spirit. And now
Oh
that we
yeah.
have like iTunes and thanks to Sparkle for WBGO, and you could put in homework music and inside the iTunes, put in homework music, and all these great different chill lo-fi music comes on. So yeah, what would the soundtrack of your life look like, sound like? What would it smell like? Oh man, that's deep. What would it smell like? Because your scent brings you back too. It could bring you back to when you was like 5 years old
Memories.
sometime. Yes. So yeah, that would
Yeah.
be something.
Oh, you
You
ladies
know.
are awesome.
So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. This is our launch of our SisStars Cyphers podcast. This was titled Beginnings and Breakthroughs. And
Like
we'll be back with you again talking about music, exploring the soundtracks of our life. And this is Reality Speaks TV. This is real people, real talk, and real
In real
time.
time.
Good night, ladies.
good night.
Peace, y'all.